This is Rolling Live. Hey, it's Matt Pinfield coming to you from Rolling Live Studios, and I'm here with Wendy Dio, who's an amazing woman. She is the widow of the late, great Ronnie James Dio, and we are excited to be announcing an incredible event. And I welcome Wendy to the show. Wendy, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you again. This is great. I'm really excited about this exciting event that's going to be coming up on Rolling Live.
Yeah, you know, I got to say that I really, I just look at the history of what you've done since we lost Ronnie and the incredible events that you've done, whether it's, writing for Ronnie, bowling for Ronnie, and everything you've done with Stand Up and Shout Foundation. Let's start by talking about when you made the decision that you were going to help carry on Ronnie's legacy and get all these great musicians who were lifelong fans of his to get involved and raise money for cancer.
Well, we started when Ronnie passed away. A lot of people were sending money in to go to some fund of some kind, and we were kind of, what do we do? And I'm a little apprehensive about some of the big charities because I'm always worried that the money's going into not the right place. It's going into too much administration costs and things. So we decided to form our own charity, and we got together with 14 of Ronnie's friends that have been around for a long, long time, and we formed the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund. And every single penny goes to research for cancer and education. There's not one penny of administration costs whatsoever. So if a kid gives $1, that's going to where it's supposed to go to. We've raised over 2 million, almost into 3 million now.
Let's talk about when you and Ronnie met. It's pretty incredible, the relationship that you had over all those years.
Okay, so I met Ronnie, I think it was about 74 actually. He had just finished recording the first album with Rainbow, Richard Blackmore's Rainbow. And they had not been on the road and toured yet, but they were finishing the album. And he came down to the Rainbow. And at the time, I was messing around with acting and different things, and so I was working in the Rainbow as a waitress. And Richie, I knew Richie because I knew his wife, and I knew a bunch of those people from England. And they introduced me to Ronnie and invited me to a party up in Hollywood Hills at Richie's house. And I went up there, and Ronnie was following me around, and I was like, he's a bit short for me, I don't think so. But we ended up going for breakfast, and then he called me a bunch of times, and we went out a few times, and then he went on the road for the tour, and he called me and said, why don't you come out on the tour with me? And I said, I could maybe take a week off or something. And so I went, and I never came back.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so great.
And we got married in '78,
which was incredible, you know. Mm-hmm. And then, you were there as manager for a long time as well. Mm-hmm. And was that kind of out of necessity, where you really wanted to make sure that Ronnie's career was going in the right direction and being treated right?
I never really wanted to manage Ronnie. And then when he left Black Sabbath and formed his own band, he said, I want you to manage me. I was, I don't know about that. I knew a lot about the music business, but managing was a totally different thing, kind of scary. I said, well, let's try it out with another band first. So we formed the band Rough Cut, and we started managing Rough Cut, and then I just fell into managing Ronnie and learned the ropes along the way.
Yeah, and you managed like Hellion, there were a bunch of different people, right?
Alcatraz, Quiet Riot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what an incredible history of managing that you have. And speaking of that time in Ronnie's career, we are right now on the cusp of the 35th anniversary of the first Dio album, Holy Diver. What a great record. Tell me about how that all transpired to make the first album.
During the time of him being in Black Sabbath, I had gotten him a solo record deal, which he thought he'd just use later on down the line. And he had written some songs, actually, because Ronnie wasn't just a lyricist. He wrote songs as well, full music. I mean, he played trumpet for years and years. He played guitar, he played bass, he played piano. And he had written already Holy Diver and Don't Talk to Strangers. Yeah. And so he said, well, we got to get a band together. So Vinny went with him, so he had Vinny Appice. And then Jimmy, of course, had been in Rainbow, so he contacted Jimmy to see if we could find some guitar player for some bass players. Well, Jimmy just assumed he was in the band, so he was, and then he found Vivian Campbell, was a young unknown kid from Ireland. and we mortgaged our house at that time. We didn't have a lot of money. We mortgaged our house to get it on the road because it costs a lot of money to put a show on the road. And we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. And then, whoa, just took off overnight.
Yeah,
it's
Holy Diver
amazing
exploded.
feeling, amazing.
Isn't it amazing too how many young artists still love those records and how many they've inspired?
I love it when bands are performing Ronnie's songs or recording Ronnie's songs. I think it's just such a great tribute to him and keeping his legacy and his music alive.
It's fantastic. That brings me to ask you about the people that have been involved, you know, in these great events that you put on.
Well, when we did the memorial for Ronnie, first of all, we were just going to do the memorial, and then Glenn Hughes wanted to sing, and all these other people wanted to play and do that, and so we decided, oh, well, we need to do some other things. So we did the ride and we did the bowling. Yeah. And then everybody started just coming and showing up. Jack Black just came on. He bowls for us when he's in town. Tom Morello has his own bowling ball, you know, Geezer Butler, of course. Doug Aldrich, Carmine Appice, Vinny Appice, Dave Grohl. He showed up and just jumped on the stage and played drums when we had a concert going on in the park. Alice Cooper's daughter, Calico Cooper, she's always there. Lita Ford's always there for us. Lizzie Hale was there for doing the tribute record for us, and Corey Taylor. I mean,
and that album. Speaking of that album, "This Is Your Life," what a great tribute!
Oh, unbelievable! So many people on there. Scorpions on it, Rob Halford, you name it, they're on there. Metallica. They called me. Oh, Metallica's on. Oh, are we too late to be on there? No, of course you're not.
We'll hold up the album for a couple of minutes so I'll get that record out of it.
Everybody was amazing. It was a really fun album to do, and there's still, we get royalties still in for the charity. Every 6 months we're still getting royalties.
So This Is Your Life. I love the fact that you're still getting royalties for that. And
unbelievable.
And all the people, all those great artists lining up to be a part of the tribute.
It was amazing. It was just so amazing. I mean, there was just, and everybody did such a great job. I mean, Scorpions, it sounds like a song that they could have done. Yeah, exactly,
You know, I love the eulogy that really, you know, in Rolling Stone, one of the things that was said that I thought was really poignant was they talked about how Ronnie never pretended to be one of the kids. He was more like kind of their leader, almost a father figure, kind of bringing them along. So
he always wrote his songs for the fans.
Yeah.
And they could determine what it was about, and 10 different things. But he always wanted to make sure that they always followed their dreams. Like with Holy Diver, you know, the cover, it looks like a devil drowning a priest. And Ronnie would say, but you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. How do you know that that's a priest or not a devil just because by the clothes you're wearing? So you can never judge someone by what clothes they wear or what they're doing. You judge them by their heart and what's inside of them.
Yeah, and that's right. It's like the wolf in sheep's clothing thing. You just do not know.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's one of the things that's really amazing about those records as we go through them and look back and listen to those as well. Let's talk about how Ronnie really popularized the devil horns thing, because people talk about that. You know, and then a lot of people started imitating him.
Oh yeah, and well, a lot of people claim that it was theirs. So it's okay. It wasn't Ronnie's.
Yeah.
It was, and it's an old Italian sign called Maloik, to ward off evil. And his grandma, when he was about 5, he used to walk down the town to give his grandpa lunch at the steel mill, and he'd see his grandma doing this and doing that with a sign. It was like warding off evil, but he didn't think about it. It was just part of his heritage.
Yeah.
And then when he joined Sabbath, of course, Ozzy was doing the peace sign.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do that, and then one day he just did it, and it just took off. And it was just something that Ronnie became popular for.
Yeah. Let's talk about this great event. You know, it's the 11th year, and you're doing this with Rolling Live. I'm excited about this live stream. It's happening on July 10th.
I'm really excited about it. And it's going to be a wonderful event. It's going global, which is great. It's for our charity, with all the proceeds going to the Ronnie Dio Cancer Fund. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We've got a lot of musicians lined up. They're going to be doing some stuff. We can see the past 10 years, what we've been doing with the charity. And we've got some great merchandise. I think it's going to be a fantastic event.
I think what's great about it is, you know, if anything came out of the pandemic, this is a way for people that are big Ronnie fans worldwide, because his audience goes, I mean, it's in all the way to the Ukraine, South America. I mean, it's everywhere, the Far East. I mean, you know,
But I also think that not only for the pandemic, but which is great, but also because all the fans all over the world have always wanted to be involved in our charity events, and unfortunately, they're in Los Angeles, so they've never been involved in the Ride for Ronnie or the Bowl for Ronnie, and this gives them a chance to all get involved in our charity event. I think it's great that they become part of our event.
This is great. And we're going to have some amazing things to auction off as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, I know that you've gone into some of the archives. There's limited edition vinyl there. There are stickers that go back to
original T-shirts from Holy Diver and Dream Evil and Lost in Line. I pulled those out of my vintage closet.
Yeah. You're like, I was holding on to these for something, but right?
A signed photo of Ronnie, and I'll find some more things. I'm finding things every day, more and more things to bring in.
And we're going to put them all up. And one of the things that's really cool is there's that limited edition baseball. Let's talk about that. He was a huge sports fan, right?
Yeah, Ronnie. Well, he was a huge sports fan. He wrote all his songs watching sports, and of course he was a huge baseball fan, and so he decided, well, why don't we make a baseball that I can sign for the limited edition for the merchandise, for the fan club. So he did. That's what he wanted. Yeah. They're all numbered and they're all signed, and that's it.
That's great. I'm so glad you were able to pull and find some of these some of these things. We want everybody to know that's watching it. You're going to become a part of this. You will be a part of this. I know you're a fan of Ronnie's, and to raise money for cancer research is just one of the most important things in the world. It really is.
Absolutely. We have to get rid of this horrible disease. It touches so many people. It doesn't care if you're rich, poor, famous, or nobody. I'm sure everybody knows somebody in their family or their friends that have been touched by this horrible disease, and we have to find a cure for it. And that's my whole goal in life, is to try to find a cure for this horrible disease. And if you find it early, it can be operated on and gone. Tony Iommi is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because of Ronnie getting, he went and got tested, and they found that he had some cancer, and it's in remission now, and he's doing great.
So great to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's early detection. I cannot point enough times to say early detection, especially you men out there, because women are good about getting tested. Men, you got to drag them there. So do it for yourself. Do it for Ronnie.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for all the incredible work that you've been doing, Wendy. And I can't wait for the event.
And thank you, fans all over the world. We couldn't do this without you. We love you very much, and Ronnie loved his fans. Thank you.
That's Wendy Dio, and we're coming to you live from Rolling Live Studios. Don't forget, tickets are on sale now for this incredible event, celebrating the life of Ronnie James Dio for the Stand Up and Shout Foundation.